The last time anyone saw Chad alive, he was trying to tie his own shoes. It was December 7th. The temperature was minus 12 degrees. What investigators would later piece together was this. Willow Falls was a town of exactly 100 families. It boasted a 0% crime rate, a thriving local economy, and a community that looked out for its own. But every year, as the first deep freeze set in, the town enforced a strict curfew. They told the children it was because of Mary, a local legend, a monster from the lake who wandered past the old iron gate looking for those who strayed. I remember thinking it was just a story, a way to keep us safe from the cold. Alan was 30 when he returned to Willow Falls. His mother had passed away 2 weeks prior. He came back to pack up the house he hadn't stepped foot in for over a decade. He found the house exactly as she had left it. Almost. He set his keys on the counter. He looked at the coffee cup. It was on the left side of the sink. She was right-handed. She always kept it on the right. He stood there for a moment, then filed the detail away. It was the kind of thing you explain away at the time. I didn't want to seem paranoid. Grief does strange things to your memory. Alan's father, the town's mayor and director of the local news station, HNN, was busy with the upcoming winter festival. He had always been a busy man. Let me know if you need any help with your things, Alan. That's what I'm here.
He was, by every account, a pillar of the community. While sorting through his mother's bedroom, Alan found a leather-bound diary shoved beneath the mattress. The handwriting inside was erratic, the margins filled with frantic, heavy strokes. She wrote about the eternal night, about the shadow man watching her. I thought it was just her sleep paralysis acting up again. But as Alan read further, the entries shifted from dreams to meticulous observations. She had logged the dates of every disappearance in Willow Falls over the last 20 years. 20 years. 20 people. All of them outcasts. The slow, the sick, the homeless, the rebellious. Chad had been one of them. He was just a kid. He couldn't even tie his shoes right. The diary noted a pattern. Every year, 2 days before the curfew, the local news station would run a segment highlighting a threat to the community. A drifter, a troubled teen, someone the town could quietly agree was a burden. Alan turned on the old box television in the living room. He found a stack of VHS tapes labeled with dates. He pushed one in. Tonight, we have tragic news to report. The police are currently looking into Reginald Smith, a known vagrant, regarding the recent vandalism near the park.
Alan noticed it then. He paused the tape. The timestamp in the corner read December 5th, 2 days before a girl named Lila disappeared. Reginald Smith had been arrested that same night, held without bail, ensuring he had no alibi when the town needed a scapegoat. I started a text to my dad. I deleted it. I typed it again. Then I put the phone face down on the table. Alan walked to the hallway closet to grab a coat. At the bottom of the closet sat a pair of his father's heavy winter boots. The soles were caked in a thick, dark mud. It hadn't rained in Willow Falls for 3 weeks. The ground was frozen solid. The only place with mud like that was the perimeter of the lake, deep inside the park that no one entered. Alan made a decision that seemed reasonable at the time. He didn't call the police. He went down to the basement. I told myself I was just looking for old photo albums. The door at the bottom of the stairs was locked. It had never been locked when he was a child. He used a crowbar from the garage to force the latch. The basement smelled of damp earth and old iron. On a workbench in the center of the room sat a mask. It was a grotesque, pale gray thing, covered in jagged spikes, with 2 crimson glass eyes. It matched the exact description of Mary, the water puppet, the monster that supposedly dragged children beneath the ice. Next to the mask was a heavy iron keyring, the keys to the gate.
Beside that, a ledger. I opened it. It wasn't a list of victims, it was a budget. The ledger detailed the town's economic statistics, property values, tax rates, school funding, and a column labeled pruning. The names of the disappeared were written in neat, careful handwriting. Next to Chad's name was a note: high functioning, but long-term care will drain municipal resources. Scheduled for December 7th. There was no monster. There was no supernatural curse. Willow Falls maintained its perfect statistics and idyllic streets by systematically murdering anyone who threatened its pristine image. The town didn't just know, they participated. They stayed inside during the curfew so the committee could do its work. They stepped on the faces of the vulnerable every single day, rationalizing it as the price of a safe community. His father hadn't just known about Mary, he was Mary. I heard the floorboards creak above me, the heavy, slow footsteps of my father walking toward the basement door. "Alan, are you down there?" Alan didn't scream. He didn't confront him. He slipped out the small egress window at the back of the basement, cutting his hand on the frozen glass.
He got into his car and drove. He didn't look in the rearview mirror. Alan never went to the police. The ledger was in his father's possession, and the local precinct was fully funded by the mayor's office. 6 months later, his father was re-elected with 82% of the vote. Alan lives 3 states away now. He still checks his locks twice before bed. He still leaves his coffee cup on the left side of the sink.